Welcome to the Canon in 5. We take the most reputable books in history and distill them for you. Every video covers one chapter, explained in simple words through 5 key points. Here is what you need to know from today's reading.
Okay, let's dive right in. Have you ever wondered about this? I mean, why is it that a random compliment from 10 years ago can still make you smile, but you have absolutely no idea what you ate for lunch last Tuesday? Well, it turns out it's not random at all. Your brain is always working, actively building your sense of who you are, one memory at a time. So, to really get how our brain picks and chooses which memories to keep, we have to ask an even bigger question. Why do we even form lasting memories in the first place? And the answer, believe it or not, has to do with a constant battle your brain is fighting against, well, the entire universe. You see, the universe naturally loves chaos. There's a name for this in physics. It's called entropy. Just think about your bedroom. If you don't actively clean it, it doesn't just magically get organized, right? It drifts towards messiness. That's entropy in action right there. Now, this is where it gets really cool. Your brain is basically an anti-entropy machine. Its main job is to fight back against that cosmic messiness. It takes in all this chaotic data from your day-to-day life, searches for patterns, and creates order. And it does all this for one super important reason: to predict what's going to happen next and make the world feel a little less uncertain. And memories? They're the building blocks it uses to create that order. Okay, so your brain's got billions of experiences to sort through. How in the world does it decide which ones are worth keeping? And that brings us to our very first key idea. Your memories aren't just stored away like old files. Nope, they get tagged with a special code that tells your brain just how valuable they are. And here's the bottom line. A memory's importance isn't really about whether it was good or bad. It's all about how that experience tapped into 3 core, totally universal human drivers. And these are the big 3: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When something happens that satisfies one of these needs, like say you finally figure out how to solve a tough problem at work, which is a huge boost for competence, your brain flags that memory. It's like it's saying, hey, pay attention, this worked. This is a way to get a good, predictable result. Let's hang on to this for later. All right, on to our second key idea. Because these tagged memories, they don't just sit there all alone. They all link up, forming this massive, tangled web that actually shapes how you see the world right now, in this very moment. Think about it. When you pull up one memory, it's like tugging on a single thread, and instantly a whole bunch of other memories that are connected to it, by people, by places, by emotions, they all light up too. And this is a perfect example of that web in action. You've got a stressful situation, the dripping pipe. Your brain goes into search mode. One memory pops up, your old roommate putting a bucket down. That gives you an immediate action that satisfies your need for competence. But then another memory pops up, your mom fixing a pipe. That one points to relatedness, to connection, and a better long-term fix. Your brain uses this web to hand you a playbook for how to get out of a jam. And this right here is the big takeaway. How you feel in that moment isn't just about the pipe. It's about the overall vibe of the whole network of memories that just got switched on. If that network is packed with memories of competence and connection, you feel resourceful. But if it's full of memories of failure and frustration, you're probably going to feel pretty anxious and overwhelmed. Okay, so key point number 3. How do these webs of memories come together to form something even bigger, like your actual identity? A lot of the time, our memory networks are just a total mess of contradictions, right? Take public speaking. You might have memories of being judged, which feels terrible and frustrates your need for competence. But you also have memories of connecting with people and getting your point across, which satisfies both competence and relatedness. All these mixed signals create a ton of internal static and uncertainty. So how do you fix that? This is where you literally build a higher self. It's a creative process. You look at all those conflicting memories, and you find a way to bring them together under a bigger, more abstract value. You create a guiding principle. This doesn't make the bad memories disappear, but it gives them a place in a story that makes sense. A story that tells you why it's worth facing that fear. So how do we actually do that? How do we integrate those tricky, painful memories? Well, that leads us right into our 4th key: the incredible power of managing our emotions. This is wild. Your emotional reaction to something isn't just a fleeting feeling that goes away. It gets saved right alongside the memory itself, almost like a little software update. It becomes an action policy, a set of instructions for how you should handle things like this in the future. And we tend to have 3 main styles. There's the controlling style. That's when you try to suppress your feelings, just bottle them up. Then there's the
amotivated style, where you're just completely swamped by your emotions. Neither of those really helps you learn. But the integrative style, that's where the magic happens. It's when you approach your feelings with curiosity, allowing you to really process what happened, learn the lesson, and weave it into who you are. And that brings us to our fifth and final key, which pulls this all together. This whole process is what lets you go from feeling like a victim of your past to becoming the actual architect of your own life story. Let's go back to that marathon runner who has a terrible race. That's a huge hit to their need for competence. Now, if they use that controlling style, they'll just try to forget about it, but the fear is still going to be there. But if they use an integrative style, they can get curious. They can ask, okay, what did I learn here? I learned I was too worried about what other people thought. Next time, I'm just running for me. See? They've taken a failure and integrated it, building a wiser, stronger identity. So there they are, the 5 keys. Let's do a quick recap. 1. Your brain remembers things to fight chaos. 2. It codes memories based on whether they satisfy your needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. 3. Those memories connect into a powerful web. 4. You build a coherent self by integrating those webs under your core values. And 5. The main tool you use to do all that is being open and curious with your emotions.
So at the end of the day, what all this research is really telling us is that who we are isn't fixed. Your past isn't just a dusty record of things that happened. It's a living library of resources that you get to sort through and make sense of. It's the raw material you use to build yourself. So the real question isn't just what happened to you. It's what story are you choosing to build from?